helping you now.
I became the Halloween party princess, and the tournament of the quizzes and riddles just for me began. It looks like I get a medal for each puzzle I get.
I'm sorry, I messed up.
It looks like I get a medal for each puzzle I get right. If I get a lot, I'm supposed to get a wonderful prize from Grandfather. Okay, here I go. Who should I start with?
I don't think it matters. Start with whomever you like. I better think of a killer puzzle when I have the chance.
Maria, didn't you have a quiz book in your bag? Ah! I do! I'm gonna give Angie a nasty one! Maria laughed with an evil smile. It looks like everyone's gonna try and bully me. I'm sure they'll think of some really hard questions.
Don't worry, I'll lend a hand.
Really?
Of course. After all, I'm the princess's attendant. So let's give it our all together and get a huge pile of medals.
Okay!
Come now, Angie. Start wherever you want. I, Goda, am ready to challenge you whenever you please.
Whoa, not so fast. The honor of the first audience with the princess belongs to me. Angie, begin with my challenge.
Okay! I suddenly got tense and my stomach began to feel tight. And Aunt Ava gently held my hand.
It'll be okay. Let's do this together.
Okay!
Then let's begin, Angie. This is a story about December 25th, Christmas Day.
Christmas? Even though it was October, he suddenly started talking about Christmas. Is he gonna ask what day Christmas is? I know that! It's December 25th!
On Christmas Day, a woman looked up at the night sky and spoke. Eventually the night will end and morning will come. Wouldn't it be wonderful after the sun sinks and it becomes night once more? It could be Christmas again. And then the man spoke. Okay, I'll make your dream come true for you. Is such a thing possible?
The day after Christmas is the 26th on a normal day. That's impossible!
Still, Christmas even after the sun rises. Oh, I've got it.
Huh? How? How can the day after Christmas be Christmas again?
Think about it for yourself, Angie.
Okay, so I went ahead and reviewed them before, so I should remember all the answers. So I'm gonna put, it's possible. Because I am a cheater.
Oh, I see. It is possible.
Yeah, that's right. After all, there are 2 nights in every day.
Right! December 25th starts at 12 midnight. Midnight is during the night, so that's the first night. Then morning comes, and when the night falls again, it's still the same day until midnight.
Exactly. And both of those nights are nights on Christmas Day.
Am I awesome? Am I awesome? With a delighted smile, Aunt Ava patted my head vigorously.
Well done, Angie. I tried to make it a hard question, but you solved it like it was nothing.
Congratulations, Angie. Here is a medal for getting your first question right.
Genji held out a gold-colored medal, and Grandfather smiled at me, urging me to take it. Thank you!
Keep up the pace. Well, now, that is all for my puzzle. Head over there and ask whomever you choose for a quiz.
It was a heavy gold-colored medal. If I get a lot of these right, my pocket might burst. I'm gonna get so many that I can brag about it to everyone. After bowing to Grandfather, I hurried out with Aunt Ava to where everyone else was gathered.
You got 1 medal! Kinzo watched Angie go with a warm gaze.
Did I make it a bit too easy?
No, I think it was just right.
Genji, have I managed to act the part of a good grandpa?
Of course.
Angie is young. She frequently grows sick, is unable to come to Rokenjima. She probably won't remember me well.
Young children have their own kind of cruelty. They think of kindness as something they'll naturally receive. And because they think of kindness as only natural, they forget about it quickly. It is no different from the gratitude to one's parents. It will probably take Angie many years before she understands.
Do you think she will eventually remember that I was a fun grandpa?
Yes, I'm certain of it. Kinzo's expression grew slightly darker. Eventually, even Angie will get older. She'll probably hear how the public at large regards Ushiromiya Kinzo. The Ushiromiya Kinzo known by the public is completely different from the Kinzo who plays with his grandchildren. When she learns, will Angie remember the face of Kinzo the tyrant, known of by the world, or that gently smiling face?
I would hope for her to remember my smile if possible, but such a thing is probably too much to ask for.
There's no way around it. That's what children are.
Oh, it's you.
Children just eat up kindness and it never remains in their memories. By the time 12 years have passed, she will surely learn of what a bizarre, eccentric Ushiromiya Kinzo was. Your smile is fated to be painted over by that and forgotten.
Most probably. No matter how much I spoil her, my love will not be rewarded.
However, just as it takes a long time to remember what you owe your parents, Angie will surely remember someday. She will remember the smiles you showed her.
Let her forget. One smile from her is the greatest parting gift I could ever take with me. When my time comes, this is the essence of unrewarded love.
I guess grandfathers are always unrewarded.
Oh, but I have been rewarded with Angie's smile. Just now to look back upon, I could happily pass on in my sleep tonight.
With a lonely laugh, Kinzo spun around, setting his cape fluttering. This is all the love he could offer Angie as a grandfather. Part of him wanted to be remembered, but he knew he mustn't wish for that. That was how unrewarded love worked. After looking at Kinzo's back, Beata stared at Angie's back again. Angie, even so, please remember it someday. Remember the smile that Kinzo once showed you. I need to pause. Some people say that what Valor did, that it could possibly be used or seen as abuse apologia. I'm not sure. I'm not really that whatever. But no matter what, I don't condone Kinzo's actions. I'm sure that Kinzo's a human, so. And there's been signs that Kinzo is a playful person at times. So I'll choose to believe that sometimes he wasn't always a piece of shit. But yeah. And really, there's really no point on dwelling on Kinzo. Besides, most of what we know about Kinzo is like whatever. But it is his fault. Anyway.
Okay, whose quiz should I take next? I'm gonna challenge more and more people and get more and more medals for getting them right and get a wonderful present to show everyone. Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuya over here. They are looking this way and smiling. I'm sure they thought of some interesting puzzles. There's Uncle Hideyoshi beckoning for me to come over. He's a fun uncle, so I'm sure he's thought up of a fun question. Mom and Dad are across from him. They're waving at me, telling me to have lots of fun. Dad probably knows a lot of really hard questions. He might be tough. Over there is Aunt Rosa and Maria. It looks like they're reading a quiz book together, searching for a problem. Every now and then, Maria glances over at me, saying, she can be mean sometimes, so I'm sure her puzzles won't be a nice one. Beyond them are Ballard, George, and Jessica. Ballard is usually nice, but he sometimes says really mean things, and I think he likes seeing me get confused. I get the feeling that he'll give me a really tough problem. Is there anyone who looks like they won't be mean? If I can, I'd like to start with some easy puzzles to warm me up. All the way over there are Genji and Dr. Nanjo. I don't think those two will be mean to me. And then there's Shadow and Kano. Shadow knows a lot of quizzes and fairy tales. I'm sure she'll give me something unique. And then we'll have Goda and Kumasawa who are serving tea. Kumasawa might be tough. I kind of think she'll give me a really confusing problem. It looks like everyone might be pretty tough.
Angie, I got a good one for you. Over here.
Uncle Hideyoshi's calling for me. What should I do? Should I go?
Do you want to try Uncle Hideyoshi?
Yeah! The order doesn't matter. After all, I'm going to challenge everyone. I rolled up my sleeves and headed toward Uncle Hideyoshi.
Here you are. Mine's a tricky one, okay?
I wonder what sort of question you'll give her. Don't make it too hard, okay?
It's okay if it's hard. I'll solve it.
Oh, looking pretty confident there. Okay, here it comes.
After clearing his throat, Uncle Hideyoshi started telling his question.
Mine's a riddle. Listen closely now. You know the story of Momotaro, right?
The boy who floated down a river in a peach?
That's right. But you know, one day an apple flowed down that river.
An apple?
Yep. And the next day a butternut squash floated down it.
I hate butternut squash.
And then the next day some cabbage floated down it. And the next day a dill pickle did. And the next day an eggplant floated by. And then the day after that a fig did.
What a strange tale. Did a greengrocer live upstream or something?
Okay, here's the question. What flowed down the river the next day?
Huh?
I've got it. Do you get it, Angie?
I don't get it.
Then I'll give you a hint. There's a pattern to the things that float down the river. Can you guess what the pattern is?
What a huge hint.
Crap. What was it? Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. Yeah, it was A.
I know! It's a grapefruit!
That's right. It wasn't one of the choices, but green beans would have worked too.
The names all follow the alphabet. An apple was A, butternut squash was B, cabbage was C. It kept on going with D, E, and F. So after F comes G. That's why the answer had to be something that started with G. Thanks, Oneva. I got it right thanks to your hint.
You solved it by yourself, Angie. Incredible.
Yep, nice work. Now here's your medal for getting it right.
Hideyoshi took out a gold-colored medal and placed it on my palm. It felt heavy in my hand. Yeah, this is what victory feels like. I'd better keep it up.
You got a medal. I got another medal for Ava's puzzle, but I can't think of any more.
Then maybe I should give Angie a puzzle.
Huh? You will?
Sure. How about a quiz for the princess from her attendant? I thought of a fun one, so please have a go at it.
Oneva smiled brightly. Oneva smiled brightly. I want to get as many medals as possible, so of course I want as many chances as I can get. Okay, have a go at it.
That's the spirit. Okay, here it comes. We've talked about how I love to travel, haven't we?
Yeah, you said you like traveling overseas a lot.
That's right. So this will be a puzzle about traveling. It was a traveler in a certain place.
A traveler?
First, the traveler walked 5 kilometers north.
Should I write this down on a piece of paper?
Don't worry. The puzzle isn't that hard, so listening to it will be enough.
The traveler first walked 5
kilometers north. Then he walked 5 kilometers to the east. Then he walked 5 kilometers to the south.
5 kilometers north, 5 kilometers east, 5 kilometers south. You mean like a blocky N?
That's right. So it ended up with 5 kilometers east of where he started.
That's what you'd think, right? But incredibly, this traveler ended up in the exact same spot as he started. Is something so mysterious possible?
There's no way. This compass must have gone crazy.
Of course it didn't. Do you know, Angie?
It wasn't because of his compass? Is this a play on words?
No, this is a real quiz. For a hint, why don't you try thinking about a globe?
Okay. I know the answer because I remembered them. So a very cold place.
I got it! It's a really cold place! Yeah, it must be incredibly cold there!
Perfect! Angie, you must really be a genius to get something like that your age.
I wouldn't have gotten this right. I tried figuring out the puzzles myself, by the way, but I've taken this quiz multiple times already. So I probably might have unconsciously remembered them before. But I don't think I would have gotten them right very easily when I was younger. Because I'm very lazy. If you start at the South Pole and then go north, going east just draws a circle around the South Pole. So anytime you head south again, that just takes you right back to the South Pole.
I tried to begin an extra hard puzzle, but Angie was just too good.
Congrats! Here's another medal for you.
I got a heavy gold-colored medal. Alright, I did it! Aunt Eva held up our fist in celebration.
Okay, that's all for our puzzles. Go ask for the others for give you one.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Hideyoshi.
Your aunt's really clever. With the two of you together, you'll be getting medals left and right.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, let's do our best together, Aunt Eva. I dashed away. Who will I ask next? Uncle Hideyoshi waved goodbye smiling.
You got one medal. Hideyoshi and Eva watched as Angie ran off happily looking for the next quiz.
Even though that kid can wear such a cute smile, I will be the one that takes that away from her.
Eva. Eva hung her head. A single tear sparkled in her eye.
Her reaction was only natural considering how she felt, but I wasn't able to see past it and accept her feelings.
It can't be helped. You're as human as anyone else. You tend to be more fragile than you think.
Even so, it was my fault. After all, I already had the experience of bringing up a child right. I should have become her mother, and yet I let sadness overwhelm me, and I didn't do it at all.
It can't be helped, I tell you. Don't think you're the only one at fault. You shouldn't blame yourself so much. By now, Ava was unable to hold back her sobs. Large tears dripped down her cheeks as she stared at the ground and shook.
What a sin I committed. My sadness was no greater than hers, and yet I decided I was suffering the most, so I didn't accept her feelings. I'm a failure of a mother. I wasn't able to become a mother for her.
That's wrong. You did your best for her, Ava.
Oops, that's Kyrie. My bad.
Let's try again. That's wrong. You did your best for her, Ava.
Kyrie.
Kyrie and Rudolph were standing behind Ava now.
I know the lengths you went to keep the truth from Angie.
You held out well, Aunt Eki. Guess that daughter of ours really has been a pain and clueless of how much you suffered. After the accident on Rokenjima, Ava, the only one who left Rokenjima alive, adopted Angie.
the girl who had been absent and survived. While they would eventually develop a sad and mutually painful relationship, it wasn't like that at first. Ava tried to show affection for Angie, her last remaining blood relative. She tried to become Angie's new mother, even as she fought back the sadness she herself felt. However, Angie wasn't able to accept that kindness. She lashed out at Ava, the only one who had returned alive, for stealing her parents away from her. Ava, understanding the wounds that this little 6-year-old girl bore, withstood these attacks. She grit her teeth and poured all of her affection onto Angie, affection that went ignored. However, the wounds Ava herself bore were also extremely deep. She was never rewarded for her sad efforts, and the future in front of her grew dark. You tried to show Angie the same affection you once showed George. But that was just for my own satisfaction. Angie never felt any of it. Angie was the one who couldn't accept it. It isn't your fault. But who could possibly ask that of Angie when she was just 6 years old? I should have held out much, much longer until she could understand my feelings. Ava, I want you to believe one thing. We don't blame you in the slightest. Kyrie, thank you so much for suffering so long for Angie's sake. If that kid has a human heart, then I'm sure she'll recognize the affection you showed her someday. Thank you, Aneki. We'll always be grateful. Isn't that wonderful, Ava? Your efforts haven't gone unnoticed. Before we continue, I don't think I will ever have access to the tip, but there's also the Witch's Tanabata, which also shows hints of Ava trying her best. My perspective was, and is, that if it was gonna be that way, I don't think she was fit. I don't think she should have adopted Angie then. Like, I think they were two broken people. Like, especially back then where, like, therapy isn't, like, readily available in the 1980s or whatever. And there's a stigma, especially if you're Asian. So, it's like, that's my perspective. Especially, like, with all, like, yeah, Ava went through a lot of stuff. Which is why the best thing for her was not to raise Angie, I think. I don't think she should have, or something. Or she should have been more, like, out of her life and not try to, like, been forceful or anything. Or something. Because it's like, obviously, whatever happened, like, she wasn't fit to do it. Like, she was an unfit parent, because it's just like, if you're going through all that strain, I mean, that's a lot. You know? And there was, like, too much responsibility for her. That's what I think. Like, if they had, like, somebody to mediate in their relationship, it probably would have been easier. But in the Tanabata, Angie leads herself to believe if she never smiles, one day she'll have her family back. she was never able to cope with moving on because she wanted to have her family back, and so she kind of has this magical thinking, the Tanabata hint. And I get that, because sometimes I would think like that too. You'd have to read it. You can read that hint on YouTube or something. I don't have it, but yeah. I think what Ava did was take on too much responsibility. Because the one problem is Ava, she thinks she can take on anything or whatever. Because, like, it's not like she's the most emotionally adjusted person. So, yeah. So, I'll be right back.
Halloween parties are supposed to be fun!
Okay.
Are you having fun?
Alright. How are you doing, Angie? If you wish, I, Goda, would be pleased to challenge you.
And I, Kumasawa, have a very tricky puzzle for you. It doesn't matter how hard it is. I'm not alone. I'll solve it without Eva.
Goda and Kumasawa offered it. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Goda and Kumasawa offered to challenge me. I have to go up against everyone in the head, so it doesn't matter who comes next. I waited on Eva to hurry up as she ran toward me.
So we're challenging this pair next. Who we start with?
Okay, Goda.
Very well, as you wish. Here's my puzzle.
I'll warn you, it's a toughie. I'll still solve it. I've gotten the knack of it.
You better not underestimate Angie, right?
Right!
My. Well then, being the humble chef that I am, here's a puzzle about food in the kitchen. We'll fight together this time. Wait. And we'll fight together this time. If you don't get it, just ask me to lend you a hand, and I'll give you a hint.
If I get a hint, does that mean I won't get a medal?
It won't affect your medals at all, so feel free to ask away. In the witch's house, there was a magic kitchen. Every day, you would serve a freshly made meal for the witch. She returned at her appointed time. One day, the witch had to work very late. When she finally got home, all the food greeted her. "Welcome home, great witch. I've made some vegetable stew for you," said the stew in the pot. "Welcome home, great witch. Please quickly dip me in the stew and eat me," said the hard bread. "Welcome home, great witch. You must be thirsty. Please drink me right away," said the white wine. "Welcome home, great witch. If you eat me, the heat of day will be wiped away," said the ice cream dessert. "Now then, one of these are lying. Which is it?"
The ice cream! The witch got back really late, so the ice cream would have melted. So she couldn't eat it.
Nicely done. See? Angie is a clever girl, isn't she? Congratulations, Angie. Very impressive. How quickly you solved the puzzle that I, Goda, put all my efforts into.
It was totally easy. Aniba's puzzle was harder.
Thanks. Yeah, it was. Congratulations. This medal is your prize for answering my question correctly.
Thank you. Okay, that was easy. Now let's take a shot at Kumasawa's puzzle. You got one medal. Looks like I'm up next. Now let's test Angie with my specially made super hard puzzle. Are you ready? How hard is it? You'll have to wait and see. And now let the mackerel dessert puzzle begin. Mackerel dessert?
This is Kumasawa we're talking about, so you bet it'll be a strange one. Be careful.
Okay! The cook was in trouble. Dinner had been fully prepared except for the dessert, but he had no ingredients except sabara, mackerel and leftovers. And the cook had a flash of inspiration. By changing just a single letter, he could make a grand dessert out of all those leftovers. Which letter did he change?
Sabara. Sahara. See. Wait. Are you right?
I got it! The letter is B. If you change the B in Sabara to an H, you get Sahara. That's correct.
The last line you said could make a grand dessert out of the sapara, not dessert.
I figured out a trick in Japanese and English. Am I awesome? Am I awesome?
You're so smart, Angie. You deserve a pat on the head. Wait.
I like it when you do that. Just change a single letter and even mackerel can make a fine dessert. Are you starting to see mackerel's true power?
The day I'm forced to serve a joke like that for a dessert, I imagine heads will roll.
I wouldn't like it either. I like ice cream for dessert.
Of course. By the way, we shouldn't be worried, should we? What about tonight's dessert?
I can hardly wait to surprise everyone with the mackerel fruit parfait waiting there in the kitchen. No!
Everyone burst out laughing. For some time after that, I was tormented by the terrifying image of a parfait being neatly topped with mackerel chunks.
My, what a shame. I tried so hard to stop Angie from getting that prize, but she solved my best riddle like it was nothing.
Though she said that, Kumasawa smiled. A gold-colored medal glittered in her wrinkly hand. Angie took it.
Well then, that's all for our puzzles.
Please, keep up the pace and get more and more medals and win that splendid prize from the master.
Okay, thank you. I'll keep it up. We did it, Eva.
Let's keep it up.
We rushed away. Okay, who should we take on next?
You got one medal.
It seems that all of a sudden the tiny girl who used to hide and tremble in Kyrie's shadow has grown to be so bright and cheery.
With each passing family conference, one can feel the growth of those youngsters. After just a few years more, and you will surely learn of love, of makeup, and will eventually grow to become a true lady.
Very true. If she grows normally with a passing time, that is. A cruel fate will force the chick called Angie into a lonely future. If an egg isn't warmed, it won't hatch. The egg she is now will not be warmed by anyone, and it will not hatch. Inside that frozen egg will Angie have no choice but to face an isolated future. An eggshell can always be broken from the inside. A cold shell may be very, very hard, but that doesn't mean it cannot be broken.
Does Angie have the strength to do that?
Is she capable of achieving that or not? I hear that question is what this final game is all about.
Perhaps we should have sent her a clearer message. If the egg cannot be warmed, could we at least not strike it from the outside to make it easier to crack?
If a chick without the power to break its own shell is forced outside of the egg, it won't be able to withstand the cold winds. Angie will have to find that power and resilience herself.
But can we not somehow explain that power and resilience to her?
Words mean nothing if they're merely given. They must also be accepted. No matter what we try to give Angie, it will be meaningless unless she accepts it.
You're right. No matter what we try to tell her, it won't matter unless she listens.
We can do nothing but watch over her. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
We can do nothing but pray that Angie chooses a better future for herself.
If Angie does not abandon herself to anger for the sole purpose of distracting herself from her resignation and sadness. If she can just be honest about that one single wish that she truly desires more than anything else, you can be certain that she will make her greatest wish come true. It is ironic, since the very beginning she has been denying that greatest wish of hers herself. Laughter brings happiness. Tears bring misfortune. Those who believe will be saved. People have the power to create their own futures by the strength of their emotions. I wish we could just let her hear those words. Battler is very strict. He's hoping that Angie will realize by her own power alone, and is not permitting even words of this nature to be told to her. It seems we can do nothing but watch over her. And so let us at least pray. Pray that she grasps the world she desires most with her own hands.
Okay, give me a moment. Looks like it's gonna be really hard to read episode 8. Oh boy.
Oh, have you selected me? Yeah! I'll have to face everyone sooner or later, right, Aunt Ava?
Right. Come on, let's have a puzzle. We'll solve it in a flash.
Ha 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 ha. I see. Then it seems I must make it a good one.
Genji, you should give her one as well. A tough one.
As you wish. In that case, a tough one it shall be.
Well, I hope that Genji would give me a simple puzzle, but now he's saying it'll be tough. Scary. But I'll beat both of them. I can't let myself get scared. And let us start with mine. I am a doctor, so how about an ambulance puzzle?
When you're in Japan, the word emergency happens to sound the same as the number 9 twice. If you add an emergency to question mark, you'll get an ambulance. If question mark is subtracted from 130, you'll get police car. One number goes in the question mark. Hint, the difference between the two cars is half an emergency. Uh-oh. I don't think I remember this. I don't remember.
The is a number, but emergency is a word. You can't add a number to a word, right?
That part sounds like some kind of word game. After all, QQ means emergency, and Q means 9. If you write 2 9s together, it sounds like 99, doesn't it?
So if you add something to 9, you get an ambulance?
Why does some number added to 99 get you an ambulance? I've got it.
Huh, really? Hey, what is it?
I'll give you a hint. You've got a big advantage here that most people around the world don't have. And again, even people from other countries can narrow it down to 2 answers with a little math. Okay, I think it was 20, right? I don't remember. I might not be able to get it because I didn't remember it correctly. But I will get Angie those medals by cheating. After all, I already pre-looked at them before. So I might cheat, okay? I just need to check if I've made that right. I think it was C though, if I remember correctly. But I'm getting 20, so I don't remember. I forgot. And I'm gonna cheat because I'm a terrible, terrible person. Please tell me I remembered right. It was it 20 or 15? Ah, I was right. It was 20. I didn't have to cheat. I have no confidence in myself whatsoever, so it was D. The first time, though, when I didn't check the hint, I thought it was some other number entirely. I'm an idiot. The emergency thing is like 119, so plus 20 to 99, basically.
20! Emergency sounds like 99, so if you add 20 to that, you'll get 119. That's the emergency number for ambulances.
And if you subtract 20 from 130, you get 110. That's the emergency number for calling the police. That part I forgot.
Splendid, that is correct. I knew you were a quick thinker, Angie.
Oh, well done, Angie! What a wise granddaughter I have!
Congratulations. This medal belongs to you. But what was that about the difference between the two being half an emergency?
Well, you didn't need to tell that part. If you use the hint, you can make a pretty good guess at the answer, even if you forgot what the emergency numbers were.
Huh?
At any rate, the gold medal glittering in Nanjo's hand is now mine.
Okay, now I'll defeat Genji too and get another one.
Yes, that's the spirit. Let's solve more and more. You got one medal.
Your turn, Genji. My friend here doesn't speak much, but his knowledge is quite extensive. Even I cannot wait to see what sort of puzzle he whips up.
Now then, Angie, prepare yourself. The puzzle starts now.
I never heard anyone say prepare yourself like that when giving a quiz. I started to get so tense that my stomach began to hurt.
It'll be okay. Hang in there. Wait, it'll be okay. Hang in there.
Unable to grip my hand firmly and my stomach it got a little better.
Angie, have you learned division?
Yeah, I learned it in cram school.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I'm glad they kind of explain it away that Angie goes to cram school. Okay, I guess we can say that's why she has such a high vocabulary. She's just a really smart kid. Incredible. A 6-year-old who knows division. Then there should be no problems. Here it comes.
This is bad. I did learn division, but I'm not very good at it.
We have lit a candle 5 centimeters in length. Every hour, half of that candle's remaining length is burned away. When its length is 1 centimeter or less, the flame will disappear. 3 hours later, the flame had disappeared. But what was the length of the candle at that time? Okay, this one's really easy. It's just the last one because, like, the time had already passed. Hold on. So I already know the answer. It's E. That's because I remembered it. Not like the other one where I forgot. But I'm technically still cheating because I already checked the answers beforehand by trying to solve them myself.
1 hour after the 5 centimeters becomes 2.5 centimeters. And the next hour that becomes 1.25 centimeters. And the next hour that becomes 0.625 centimeters.
Angie, you don't need to use math. Make sure you remember the problem clearly. How long is the candle when it burns out?
Ah! That was a close one! The candle goes out when it's 1 centimeter long, so the rest doesn't matter! The flame on this candle dies when the candle is 1 centimeter in length. So in other words, it can never get shorter than 1 centimeter. So the right answer is the 5th choice, about 10 millimeters.
That's right. You are correct.
Oh, Oh, splendidly done, Angie. How clever of you not to be misled.
I didn't even need division. I almost got tricked.
You were pretty mean there, Genji. You even asked her if she could do a division. That was a trap, right? Correct. My humble apologies.
After all, Genji is the sort who can trick you without changing his expression in the slightest.
Congratulations, Angie. This medal is proof that you have correctly solved my puzzle. In other words, he could also be like Jotaro, the great bluff, in that one gambling thing. Against the great Darby.
Thanks. I got another medal on Ava.
Nice going.
I'll get lots more. I'll get a 10, then Grandfather will give me a great prize.
Indeed. Give it all you've got, my granddaughter.
Good luck, Angie. I'm rooting for you. There must be others waiting for you. Perhaps you ought to search for the next challenge.
Okay, thank you. I'll try even harder now. We dashed away. There's still many more people waiting to give me puzzles. I have tons of chances to get medals. Okay, who should I challenge next?
You got a medal! After Angie and Ava left, Balor, who had been watching their progress, came over. How is Angie doing?
Oh, Bachelor, I am not certain, but she seems to be enjoying herself.
I heard your puzzle, Genji. Even I was almost taken back there. You honor me. Still, it's not what I would have expected. Who would have thought you'd give a trick question like that? I figured you'd make it a straightforward, simple puzzle.
You might expect such a thing from him, silent as he is, but he is much more of a schemer than he appears.
Very true. If you play a chess match against him, you'll see that right away.
He even fools me from time to time. He'll trick me right to my face with that stern, serious expression of his. He has always been like that, and yet despite the numerous occasions on which he has fooled me in the past, I keep getting tricked.
Come to think of it, what sort of relationship do you and Genji have?
Oh, you know, it's that sort of relationship where we've just been...
Okay, I was about to crack old man Yowie joke there. Whatever. For an instant, Kinzo glanced at Genji's face. Apparently, he didn't plan on touching this subject if Genji had any objections. However, Genji spoke as though there was no point in hiding it any longer. I knew the master once in Taiwan.
Knew me, he says. We were partners in crime, you might say. The two of us were both prodigal sons of rich families. A pair of ruffians who caused their parents nothing but trouble.
Genji, a prodigal son? That's a surprise. So, Genji also moved to Taiwan where he met grandfather?
No.
Wait, oops. No, I am a native of Taiwan. Genji was born in Taiwan. Well, since Taiwan was under Japanese rule before the war, he is still Japanese, of course. Yeah, just like my parents were also born in Vietnam, but they are still Chinese. Some people always get confused when they hear certain things like that, and it's like, yeah, it's based on nationality and ethnicity or whatever. Like where you're born, but where you come from in that sense.
He was a man that hated losing. When we first met, we fought all the time. Once we hit it off, we became the best of friends.
There was a lot of disorder and conflict after the war. The master is the one who saved me during that chaotic period. If I spent the rest of my life trying to repay that debt, it would not be enough to pay it back in full.
Don't say that, my friend. If only I had been a little more persuasive, I might have been able to bring your family back with us as well. Because I was so inadequate, I was unable to save anyone but you.
I don't know much about the details of Taiwan's history, but apparently there was still a lot of chaos there, even after the war ended and Japan pulled out. Kinzo, predicting this chaos before it happened, worked out a way for Genji and his family to escape. Shut up, Car. Kinzo, predicting this chaos before it happened, worked out a way for Genji and his family to escape. However, Genji's family possessed great wealth in Taiwan. They were unable to abandon it. They decided to remain there. This wealth had been built up thanks to their close relationship with the Japanese-run government of Taiwan. The new regime after the war wasn't likely to welcome them with open arms. Much mayhem and confusion followed, and Genji was the only one who escaped harm. I don't know what happened to make this man, whom Kinzo just called a troublesome prodigal son, change so drastically to become the person he is today. It's just a story of friendship between the two of them. Right, friendship. And that there could hardly be any point in an unrelated person sifting through history books to interpret however they pleased. They'd been good friends since long ago, and they vowed each other their lives. Though the troubled time tossed them about, their friendship held firm for decades. Yeah, they were best of friends. Genji's role is now that of the butler, but when they're alone they'll study, they sometimes share a drink and think back on the days of their youth. And they're still that way today. Leaving Kinzo and Genji to reminisce, Balor walked off on his own. I mean, do you see the way Renove acts? Like, Renove's based off young Genji, so... It'd be rude to ask for any more detail, and he didn't need to know. Kinzo and Genji had been friends since long, long ago. That was still something he already knew. What do you think? Do you want to challenge Aunt Nazi and Uncle Kraus next?
Yeah! Let's beat them!
Very well, we'll play along. The two of us have prepared some formidable quizzes for you. Should I go first, or you? I will start. Very well. Listen closely to what I'm about to say. White, black, white, black, white. Black, white, black, white, black, white.
Huh? White, black, huh?
I'll say it once more. White, black, white, black, white. Black, white, black, white, black, white. What does the stand for? This is a really hard one.
White, black, white, black, white. Black, white, black, white, black, white. It looks like the white and black are alternating, but the is between a white and a black. Is it gray? Is that easy?
This is surprisingly a hard one coming from you, Natsuhi.
Aunt Ava was groaning. Apparently this one's really tough.
Is it really so hard? There really is a chance that some people won't understand if they hadn't had the right experiences. Ava aside, I think Angie would have seen it a lot at school and kindergarten. What the heck? I don't have a clue.
Is it a problem that I could get easier than Aunt Ava? It's hard.
Alright, this one's easy. But, because I remember this, and I remember the solution, and because I can solve it myself, and I can explain it, if you play piano, you'll get this. Put your finger positions on the way that, imagine like the keyboard and stuff. So, white key, black key, white key, black key, white key. White, black, white, black, white, black, white. So it'd be white. Okay? Because there's like two white, and then...
That black and white thing is a keyboard! Like a piano!
Ah, is that it? It's a keyboard. Something that can be found in kindergartens and schools, which is covered with a white... something, sorry.
Something that can be found in kindergartens at schools which is covered with a line of white and black things. It's an instrument, like a keyboard, a piano, or a melodica.
The first two black keys are between do, re, and mi. The set of three black keys are between fa, sol, la, and ti.
It started with white, black, white, black, white, black, so the three white ones are do, re, and mi.
There's no black key between mi and fa, so fa comes right after mi. And since the question marks comes after mi, the right answer is fa. In other words,
the right answer is white!
Correct. I thought it might have been a bit too hard, but you did well. Splendidly done, you two. Go ahead, Natsuki. Congratulations, Angie. Here's my medal for you.
See, I can remember things. I'm not that dumb, and I don't always have to cheat in order to get all the answers.
Actually, I already worked that out the first time I did that one on Friday or Thursday. Like, I already read the chapter, and then I remembered the answers for the next day. I was going to remember them all for Friday, but I didn't remember. I usually have a good memory. Like, I can, like, if you told me to memorize 20 words, when I go to a quiz, I can basically spell about 17 of those words correctly. I mean, that was how I was in middle school. I always, like I was really good at memorizing about, like, a pretty good amount. But, yeah. And then I would forget it afterwards. I'd be like, nah. Boop! Because of that, I always was really shitty at studying. So, advice, if you have good memory in school, just pay attention to whatever the shit that people tell you, like your teachers or whatever. Because in college, if you try that shit of memorizing and math and stuff, and if you're like me, where like formulas are the most boring things ever, you can't remember them and shit, and you don't know which to plug in what to what, you're fucked. Especially since if you're like me, I didn't even bother paying attention, and I would just draw in class. And then okay, so anyway.
Alright! Honey, I got another one!
Things are moving along nicely. Next up is Nissan's puzzle. Let's solve it in a flash and teach him a lesson, okay? You got a medal! How interesting. Looks like it's time you were taught a lesson.
Stop it! Honey, don't make him mad! You'll make a puzzle harder!
If there's anyone you have to blame, it's Ava. Now, take this brain twister. Here's a puzzle about the tenants of a skyscraper I invested in. Once upon a time, there was a 7-story skyscraper. The following companies were located in the following floors. Okamura Securities Company Ltd. was located on the 7th floor. Iwamura Realty Company Ltd. was located on the 6th floor. Tamura Transport Company Ltd. was located on the 5th floor. And now then for Murakoshi Publishing Company Ltd. was located on the nth floor. What floor goes in the... Okay, so for me, because I'm really lazy, I would just tell you it's 4, because
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's my reasoning. That was my dumbass reasoning. But the hint is actually really simple. First, second, third, fourth. Okay? TH. There you go. That's the answer. And that's how you're supposed to reason it. Don't reason it like me. I'm a dumbass. So yeah, it's D.
The 4th floor!
Well done, you got it. From floor 1 to floor 4, there's only one floor that reads the TH, the 4th floor.
Yeah! The 4th floor fits, but the other ones are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floors.
Nicely done. Even I didn't figure that one out until I had the answer given to me. Even I figured it out, Kraus! And I was just being a dumbass. I was just like
7, 6, 5, 4, 4. Because you're counting backwards.
now if you mix up, I wouldn't have fucking got it at all. I would have been confused and I would have ignored the TH. Apparently Uncle Kraus once had the puzzle shown to him.
He wasn't able to get the answer right. He looked a bit downcast to see a kid like me solve it.
For some reason he looked even more mortified to see that Ava had solved it. How strange. Come on now. Let's see that medal. This medal is a mark of Angie's intelligence. I mustn't let you have it, Ava. Sore loser.
Thank you, Uncle Kraus. Am I incredible?
Very much so. You're a more flexible thinker than your uncle. I'm proud to have you as a niece. You got one medal. That's all for our puzzles. I do hope you enjoyed them.
I did! Thank you, Aunt Nazi and Uncle Kraus.
I hope you can enjoy all the tricky questions without worrying about your medal count too much. We all hope that this becomes a wonderful night just for you. We are enjoying ourselves.
Yeah! We're having lots of fun!
Kraus and Nazi smiled at them as they dashed away. Oh, it's you, Natsuhi. How did your puzzles go? We did the best we could, but I'm not sure how much they enjoyed them. On the other side of the room, Angie and Ava were counting the medals they had gathered so far. Angie and Ava. Such an unexpected pairing, but they looked like they were having a great time. A future parent and child unrelated by blood. Watching them like this, they look just like a normal parent and child. Yes, they do. Bonds between people are nurtured by the heart. Ties of blood do not bond as strongly. After saying this, Natsui bit back her own words and stared at the floor. What's wrong? I was just surprised that I would dare say such words. You don't need to worry about me, because I rejected you. You met a painful fate in so many worlds. All of that is my responsibility. I understand how you felt. Unable to become pregnant, you were forced to feel shame for many years. In that situation, any woman would be shocked if they were handed a baby whose parentage they didn't even know, and then to be told to adopt them. Let's try again. I understand how you felt. Unable to become pregnant, you were forced to feel shame for many years. In that situation, any woman would be shocked if they were handed a baby whose parentage they didn't even know, and then told to adopt them. That was no reason for me to push you off a cliff. True, you will have to carry that cross for the rest of your life. Yes, I am prepared to do so. In that case, the suffering you must endure will come from the cross you bear, not from me. You don't despise me. Don't make that dejected face. No, perhaps it's the other way around. As long as you continue making that dejected face, I'll feel no desire to punish you. As long as you continue to carry that cross, I'll feel no desire to hate you. Do you mean that you don't hate me? To tell the truth, I did hate you. I hated your guts. I hated you so much I wanted to hang up a pillow with your picture on it and use it as a punching bag. But as I watched you, that feeling faded away. You regretted and lamented, and I'm sure you'll never forget that feeling for as long as you live. How could I forget? After all, I'm a murderer. Your cross is a heavy one, doubtless. I can feel compassion for you now. I'm serious. After all, Kinzo was the one at fault, right? It's his fault for having an illegitimate child in the first place, and the way he forced that child on you was even worse. He should have at least been able to avoid hurting you by saying, "Please take care of this poor child," instead of, "You can't give birth, so adopt this kid." Men, that Kinzo.
Exactly.
I no longer hate you. Doesn't that make the cross you bear feel any lighter? No. I still don't know how I can make up for what I did to you. Then let's do it this way. Hold out your arms. Huh? Like this? As Natsu spread her arms uncertainly. Beto leapt forward and hugged her tight. This is a little... I'll never say this again. So let me say this once. After all, I never had a chance to meet my mother. Still hugging Natsuhi, Beato spoke in a whisper. She spoke those words she would certainly never say again. Thank you for worrying so much for my sake. But I really don't hate you anymore. Please believe that, Mother. Beatrice! I'm gonna have to cut out some of that audio because of the stupid car zooming by. I hate living on a street. Like an open one. Oh, it's just ice.
Who should we get a puzzle from next?
What about those two? Shannon and Kano. Sure, it looks like they'll put up a good fight.
Do you need something, Ava and Angie?
Don't be stupid, Nason. They're asking us for puzzles.
My apologies.
Shannon was a bit as absent-minded as ever. However, Kano looked completely calm and would probably have a well-puzzled... I'm sorry. Shannon was as absent-minded as ever. However, Kano looked completely calm and would probably have been a well-polished puzzle ready. Okay, I'll go first. Use that time to think of a puzzle, Nason.
Okay. Sorry.
So if I'm buying time for Nason to think of the puzzle, I'll have to make one tricky enough to keep you stumped for a while. You've got guts, kid. Let's have it, shall we? Show us the hardest one you've got.
Don't provoke him! I want an easy one!
Now that I have Ava's permission, allow me to present an insanely difficult puzzle. Leave this to me. I'll solve it. A scholarly king once decided to give out prizes to the learned people of his land. The one who won the copper prize got 29 gold coins. The one who won the silver prize got 47 gold coins. The one who won the gold prize got 79 gold coins. How many gold coins were given to the one who won the platinum prize? Okay, this one is easy enough, but I forgot the amount of coins. I think it was C. It's supposed to be on the periodic table. Okay, that's the answer. But I forgot the periodic table because I'm silly. I'm pretty sure it was C. Yeah, I was right. It was C. That's based off the platinum table. No need to do any math. Which is what I did first, and that's why I messed up. Correct.
Awesome one, Ava! Why? Why is it 78 coins? If platinum is better than gold, then why does gold get more coins?
The number of coins you get is always the same as the atomic number of the prize. Copper is 29, silver is 47, and the gold is 79. And by the way, platinum is 78. So the platinum prize gets you 78 gold coins.
Aunt Ava, you're incredible! Dad once told me that Aunt Ava was an enthusiastic studier and really smart even back when she was in school. Even George, her son, is smart, so Aunt Ava must really be incredible.
Still, that was a pretty nasty riddle to choose. You should have at least given one that Angie could understand. You did give me permission to show her the hardest one I've got.
That's right! You said it yourself! That's why we got a puzzle that was too hard for me.
Is it my fault? Sorry, Angie. But look, we got a medal, so please forgive me.
We got another medal! Just how many have we gotten so far? But still, we have a lot left to get. Next up is Shannon.
You got 1 medal. I won't have to look up this one because I remember it.
Mine isn't so hard, so you can relax.
After all, you managed to think it up.
You're making fun of me. Then, do you have a go at it too, Kano?
Bring it on. It sounds like you'll be able to understand it this time, ANGE. I'll stick to giving hints again.
Okay, I'll do my best. I'll solve it. Another medal for me. Let's go then. Listen carefully. W equals white chocolate. P equals pepper jack cheese. A equals anchovy pizza. O equals lemonade. And N equals black coffee. Which letter does the stand for?
Alright. So what this is asking is flavors. So, white chocolate's sweet, pepper jack cheese is spicy, anchovy pizza is savory, lemonade is sour, and black coffee is bitter. So, WPAO. And then the last part is I for bitter, because it's the second letter for each of those words. That's the solution. Sorry for anyone who's trying to solve these puzzles, who wanted to solve questions. I'm not doing that. I'm cheating. I'm a cheater, okay? That I believe it says in my thing that I am chaotic evil and I'm a cheater. So I will not bother to wait for you to solve it yourself. You're going to have to pause before me. And I didn't even say that. I was too evil to even tell you. You should figure that out about me by this time, though. I'm evil, no matter how badly I feel emotionally about certain things. I don't care about not spoiling answers for you. Sorry. I'm not. I'm mean. Not nice at all. See, ANGE? Think about the taste of all these foods. How does white chocolate taste?
Sweet.
And what about pepper jack cheese?
Spicy.
Then how about anchovy pizza and lemonade? I see, so that's what it is.
Anchovies are salty. Lemonade is sour. So what is it? Do the letters match the tastes?
That's right. The second letter of sweet is W. The second letter of spicy is P. Salty is A. And sour is O. So what does black coffee taste like? Sorry, I forgot salty. Not savory. My bad.
Bitter!
Exactly. And the second letter of bitter is... Wait, when did you drink coffee?
Nice job. You got it right, Ava and Angie. Aunt Ava, you're so awesome!
We had to work together to solve that one. It's a team effort.
And here is my medal. Please take it. Alright, I got another medal! Thanks! You didn't get it, did you, Kano? I bet it was hard.
Not bad coming from you, Nason.
Why don't you try saying sorry for making fun of you? If you don't, I'll make all your meals O and I.
O is one thing, but eating I all the time would be awful. Ah, Chinese bitter medicine.
I want to eat W all the time.
Careful, you'll get cavities. But if you ever come to my house to play, I'll be more than willing to share.
Yay! I love you, Aunt Ava!
And then, Kano caved under the threat of eye cooking and was forced to apologize to Shannon. You got a medal!
That's all for our puzzles. Did you enjoy them? Yeah! Thanks!
It seems the others still have brain twisters waiting for you. Please be careful. Good point. Everyone left looks like there'll be a challenge.
But we'll win! We can do it if we work together!
That's right. Let's combine our wits and move on.
Goodbye, and good luck!
Shannon and Kano returned to the kitchen with a serving cart. The dining hall was filled with such an exciting and fun atmosphere. But out here in the corridor, one was reminded of the fierce winds and the rain. But they were satisfied with this. The whole point of this noisy farewell party was to forget the loneliness of the rain for just a little bit. So, we reached the end of this long game. I feel relieved. Finally, we won't have to be toys for anyone else. I'd like to be quietly forgotten, to get covered with dust and vanish. Isn't that what you mean, Canon?
You're wrong. We aren't going to vanish like that. In the world locked inside the cat box, our future will continue unknown to anyone.
You're right. Sorry. That's a world that even we can't know about, so I forgot.
Just what kind of future will we make for ourselves in the cat box world?
I don't know. That's why it's called a cat box.
Good point.
Do you have any regrets, Nason? About George, for instance? Receiving that ring is all you can do for George. As for marriage, living together, and all the rest.
Our future inside the cat box is what will make all that come true, isn't it? I'm not the only one. It's the same for you, right? What about a future for you and Milady Jessica?
I
could break off my engagement with George and leave the island and disappear. That future is also possible for me. In that world, you wouldn't have to hesitate for my sake. You can enjoy your youth to the fullest with Milady.
If you gave up on your engagement with George, that sort of world might be possible.
So, since it's a cat box, the world where I spend my life with George and the world where you spend your life with Milady can both exist at the same time.
It's a world where any contradicting dreams can exist at once.
That's the world we'll put away as pieces. So there's no need to be lonely. No need to be sad. Even though the me here right now can only observe the part where I can accept George's ring. The other me who lives in the cat box in a world I cannot witness will surely build a happy life in the future. The cat box is such a strange thing. A place where any pieces and toys and dreams can be kept. It's no cage sealing us in. On the contrary, being inside a cat box means being free from everything in countless worlds.
A world where we're freed from everything, and yet where all of our wishes come true. However, the me in that world won't be the me here and now. That's a bit depressing.
Hey, Kano.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Do what?
Let's have a duel.
Are you sure?
We both wished we'd settle this much sooner, and yet we put it off until the last moment, just before the game is going to end.
Sure. The game is nearly over anyway. And now at the very end, it's time for us to sell things ourselves.
That way, we'll be able to see our future before we're put away in the cat box.
Sure. Let's do it. How will we decide it? A coin? Or with pistols again?
In that case, why don't we have our own quiz tournament?
Huh? You're really getting into this.
Okay then. First question.
I'll be back.
Alright, I'm back.
I have to lock the door. soon as Maria and Angie crossed gazes, they started fighting. The two girls, so close in age, were really good friends, but they also fought a lot, especially when they were opponents in a game. Maria probably knows tons of different quizzes. This should be interesting. Let's have it.
Not now! I'm the star, so I'll go after Mama!
Really? You sure it's okay for me to go first?
Yeah!
Then let's begin. Ready? Rokenjima is about to explode. There's only 1 hour left until the explosion. Rosa can make it to the stack of ingots in the underground VIP room in 3 minutes. However, the ingots I carry are heavy, so she can only carry one at a time. Furthermore, it takes her 5 minutes to carry it up to the surface. She starts at the surface and goes back and forth between the surface and the underground VIP room. So how many ingots can Rosa carry out of the VIP room? Alright, so just get your division and you'll get the answer, right? Itsy!
8 ingots!
Are you sure? It takes 8 minutes to carry each ingot to the surface, right? 8 times 8 is more than 60.
That's right! But the question was how many she can carry out of the room. Rosa only has to take 1 step out of the room to carry it out.
Nice going, Angie. All those puzzles have really warmed you up good.
That's right. To do 7 trips, you need 8 times 7 equals 56 minutes. There are only 4 minutes left. However, you can make it back to the underground room in 3 minutes and carry out the 8th ingot in the last minute. Not bad, Angie! Nice one! Ah! I'm not gonna lose to you, Maria.
Congratulations. Here's my medal. Now you can try the puzzle Maria picked out just for you. You got a medal.
So it's finally my turn. You took so long on Mama's easy puzzle that I got a little worried. There's no way you'll ever solve this one. I've got Aunt Ava with me, so we'll solve it together. Impossible, impossible, impossible. Even Aunt Ava can't solve this one. Wolves and Sheep's puzzles are incredibly hard.
From her handbag, Maria pulled out a wolves and sheep's puzzle book that was worn out and well used. It had a majestic feel to it, like a grimoire.
You know what a wolves and sheep's puzzle is, right? I know. You show me those all the time.
They're puzzles about using a boat to take everyone from one shore of a river to another. They usually have a few bizarre rules. When there's wolves and sheep, you can't let the number of wolves on either shore get bigger than the number of sheep, right?
Yeah, that's right. Send a boat back and forth, moving everyone to the other side, making sure that there are never more than wolves and sheep. But the ones with just wolves and sheep are the simplest, easiest, and plainest beginner's basic practice puzzles.
When you get to the higher levels, you have many other things other than wolves and sheep. It's pretty clever. Should we write this down on a piece of paper?
Good idea. That'll definitely make it easier for you to sort out your thoughts.
Sounds like this puzzle will be a handful.
There's no way you're getting my medal, Angie! I won't lose! I'm not gonna lose! You must use a 2-passenger boat to carry each person to the opposite bank of the river. On the near bank, there's a peasant, his wife, a shepherd, a sheep, a cow, some meat, and some vegetables. All these count as 1 passenger on the boat. The boat can only be rowed by the peasant, his wife, or the shepherd. If the wife is with the shepherd while the peasant isn't around, they'll run away together. If the shepherd is near the meat when both the peasant and his wife are not around, he'll eat it. If the sheep is near the vegetables when the shepherd isn't around, he'll eat them. If the cow is near the vegetables when none of the humans are around, he'll eat them. It's a lot of trouble to unload the meat, so once it's unloaded once, it can't be unloaded again. The vegetables are easily bruised, so they can only run at once. Can you achieve the objective in the smallest number of steps?
Alright, hope you can read that carefully. So, I won't be evil for now. I'll explain my reasoning, which was flawed. I picked A or B because But I was including... yeah, that's why. It's like, wow, there's so many items. So I thought it was like 9 or 10 or 11. Alright. Now. The actual answer is 3. In A. So sorry if you didn't get it. This really is a nasty problem. Can it really be solved? Is there some trick to it, like throwing things into the river without using the boat, or making the cow eat the vegetables so that they can be carried as one passenger?
Well, who knows? If that's as far as you can go, maybe you should give up, right? This one's really hard! Even Mama couldn't solve it, but I solved it on my first try!
So, do you get it? How many trips does it take to get every person across? This isn't a cheap trick or a riddle, right? There's no way you can solve this straightforwardly, right?
No, that's not true. I'm sure you'll get it, Nissan, smart as you are.
How many trips does it take to get every person across?
I've got it! 3 trips!
Huh? 3? How?
It's easy. The peasant and his wife get on the boat, and the wife gets dropped out on the other side on the first move. Then the peasant takes the boat back on across the second move. Then he crosses it with a shepherd in the third move.
But what about the cow and the sheep? What about the meat and the vegetables?
But on Ava, it said to take every person across, right? Those things aren't people.
Huh? As Aunt Ava's mouth flopped open, Aunt Rosa started applauding.
After clicking her tongue, Maria joined in.
That's right. The question is just asks how many moves it would take to move each person across. The animals and luggage never had anything to do with it. I hate trick word puzzles. I always get fucked too. I don't like word problems.
They only got it because you kept saying every person over and over again, Mama.
Aunt Rosa had probably said it so much as a sort of hint. Without, wait.
Aunt Rosa had probably said so much as a sort of hint. Without that, even I wouldn't have figured it out.
Come on. I was totally taken in. That was a mean question.
Go on, Maria. Give Angie her medal.
Whining like an unhappy dog, she reluctantly handed the medal over.
I grabbed it and started jumping around like a happy dog. As Maria smiled at me from behind, her face was bright just like a big sister's.
You got a medal. That's the end of our riddles. Let's play again sometime, okay?
Next time I'll have a really nasty puzzle that's even harder. One so hard that I even can solve it. No way! I'm not playing with Maria anymore.
Look, Angie. Your parents are waiting at you, so let's go. See you later, Rosa.
Sure. Later, Angie. There aren't too many people left with puzzles for you. Keep it up until the end. And make sure you keep cheering her on, Nason.
Of course. We got all these medals by working together, right?
Yeah! We dashed away, and Dad and Mom were waving at me from over there. I'm sure they thought of some mean problems. Still, they had to be easier than Maria's. I hate Maria. She's such a meanie. You bullied her too much with that puzzle. Well, I want to play with Angie a lot. If it was an easy one, she'd solve it right away, right? You really love Angie, don't you? I hate her. She made fun of you and called you a stuffed animal.
Maria pouted as she said this, but her expression didn't match her words at all.
I hope Angie finds happiness. I'm sure she will. After all, look at all the people here wishing for her happiness. And now Balor's the game master, and he set up this ball game just for Angie. After all this, there's no way she won't be happy. Still, even though anyone can make happiness appear, you can only ever grasp it for yourself. That's right. That kid is really bad at finding fragments of happiness. Even though we try to teach her how, she's been covering her ears for 12 full much harder for Angie than Battler thinks. I'm sure Angie will find happiness. Yeah! If she really does enjoy herself at this party, then that itself might be the greatest lesson we can teach her now. Angie is the girl who doesn't believe and says that everything is a trick no matter what magic is shown to her. 12 years into the future, that girl will become the last person to inherit Beatrice's name. At one point in time, that kid understood my white magic. Yeah, and she understood me too. She even summoned all the 7 sisters and understood magic itself, and yet she still can't use magic on herself.
Let us believe, just as Balor did once in the past.
Beto!
It's easy to cast magic on others, and believing in other people's magic is not so difficult. The hardest thing is casting magic on yourself.
Is that something Angie can do?
She can. Even Balor managed to understand magic. Of course his little sister will be able to do the same.
You're right! There are some kinds of magic that we can only see when we're kids, and there are some that only adults can understand. Right now, Angie is between the two of those.
She's lost the magic of children, but she has yet to understand the magic of adults. It's the most painful period of one's life.
It's so sad that she didn't have anyone close to her at a time like that. That's not true! We're always by that kid's side. She just doesn't believe it. Angie, please realize that quickly. There are so many people smiling at you from behind watching over you. If you just turn around, we'll be able to smile so much more and talk to you so much more. You're Angie Beatrice, the final witch of Mariachi Shoshier. Even if you aren't able to do the right thing in the end, I pray that you can at least enjoy yourself tonight. Have fun, Angie. So long. The time we spent together feels so long yet so short. Even so, for me, those memories are eternal.
What Beatrice says is right. It's like people are like, oh, are you playing with your imagination again? Or like, do you really believe what you say about when I'm like in my escapism mode? No, I'm like Beto. I can't believe my own magic. If I did, I would be like, oh yeah, I can really delude myself, right? No. That's why I kind of say I'm more like Angie. In that way. That's why I relate to Angie, like, Sayo and Maria. There are aspects that I have from each of them. But, like, I'm more like a mix of all three. In that sense. Because it's not like I'm gonna be like, whatever, you know? One thing is, I don't like people who like to full-heartedly believe in something. I don't like people who are yes men and be like, oh yeah, you're right, you're so right with this. Like people who just indulge in fantasy like that. It's nice to do escapism, but it's a little scary to believe everything. But it's not like I think it's kind of like ableism in that way, though, where people are afraid of those who delve into escapism. Because some people are like, oh, but you could be crazy and actually end up believing it. And it's kind of like, I feel like I hate that, because it's like you're underestimating that person. And you're kind of treating them as if they're stupid and don't have any self-awareness. And stuff. And it's really shitty. I mean, of course, and depending on the situation, that kind of thing changes. Because, like, you know how, like, some people, when they're, like, older and they go in and out of, like, a certain type of awareness, it's better to not argue with them and let them pass peacefully in that sense. In that case, why the hell would you torment them? I guess. I mean, that would really suck. And it's not like they can take care of themselves anymore, so what's the point? And it's not like you're... I don't know. I think it's a lot of fear-mongering when it comes to people who use escapism. I understand that there are people who, you know, you feel like you're scared because, like, yeah, there are people who do certain things and stuff. But it's kind of, it's annoying when they're like, you know that's not real, right? No fucking shit. It's so fucking patronizing. I fucking hate that. I'm very much self-aware with things. I don't need a fucking reminder. Thanks. Like, I'm much like Angie in that sense of I don't want to believe everything I hear. And it's plus kind of helps that I was always made fun of, like, oh, you're so naive. Fine. Then I'll think it. But then again, that kind of thing kind of leads to never having any belief in yourself and a lot of self-doubt. Because I don't want to be like somebody who's very dogmatic and wants and acts like they full-heartedly believe in something. But at the same time, they might argue against everybody who doesn't believe. But at the same time, you don't want to be somebody who's like facts and logics only and then be a dick or something. And you know, I often thought about, do I want to be someone who is just into escapism and be like, because okay, everybody is like, oh, the sciences and maths are like the smart subjects, people who delve into like fantasy or thinking or imagination, they're all fucking dumb fucking losers, right? That's why I can act like Erica in that thing, because there's times when I've thought like Erica, thought like Angie, because I know how people are. I've been treated like shit a lot. So I can invoke how they act because I'm very familiar with it. But so you're led to believe that, for me, it's like, yeah, I guess they must be so much more intelligent than me, and they're much more admirable compared to someone like me. So I tend to hide my interests a lot because, like, even though I don't believe in occults or like pseudoscience stuff, but I still find them interesting, and I find them as a writing tool for fiction. So, you know, as long as people are aware about fiction and self-awareness and all that other stuff, like, is there really any need to talk down and patronize others? I really don't like it when people have to be like a shit to others. It really pisses me off. Like, so, for me, it's like, I kind of admire people who are so dogmatic in their beliefs. They're so, in that sense of that they're stubborn. They won't let anybody break their truth in that sense, even though they have doubts in that sense. Like, oh, I believe in God, and I will continually I don't have faith. I don't have something like that. I've never really been a religious person. I don't know. I don't have that devotion that Nazis, like, I'm so devoted to this idea of a family and loyalty, and I'm like, I don't have that. But then again, I'm like, but also it's just like, or do you dwell into realism? In that sense of like, don't expect good things out of life. There's no point in escaping and playing in your mind. Just focus on pure facts and logic, you know? Like, oh, only focus on the plane that is in front of you, like reality or whatever. Like, it's not like, it's like a dilemma in that sense. Like, if I did that, I'd be able to be like everybody else and blend in with everyone else. You know? Which is something that I've done. Like, one of the reasons I also relate to Sayo is like with Canon. I had a phase where I acted like Canon too, in that sense. Like, I didn't talk much. In high school, I did a thing where I didn't talk to people very much and stuff, and then it kind of became a thing where I don't talk to people unless they talk to me, because like I don't want to deal with people, and I don't want to, and it's easier to just hide things in that sense. In that, like, Canon is another facade in that sense, and I think that's why I could really relate to Sayo in that sense, in what she had done. What she done. And it's like, okay, well, you can blend in, but are you gonna be happy just because all you're doing is pretending what people want you to act like? So just because you don't want to be made fun of, just so that you can have a shield, just so you don't have to feel like you're gonna be attacked? It's kind of cowardly, don't you think? You know? Do you want to hide all your life? Some people, like, they have certain issues with politics stuff, like, or with identity, and it's like, it's clear that you've never had an issue about feeling like you were hiding something and never felt like you were being a coward for it, or like, never felt like you never get sick of the fact that you can't be honest? Like, because some people, they'll get sick of it. They'll get sick of it and it kills them to get sick of it. Because they can't live without that. As in, like, they need to not hide because it'll kill them. You know? So, I understand that there are people who feel like they have to. And then there are people who fight against that. I think that's really terrible. I don't completely relate to those other experiences, sort of, kind of. But I suppose I get it enough that I can understand in that sense. Which is why I try to understand things, I guess. And I try to think from other perspectives, is what I'm saying. Sorry that I'm going on a tangent. I just feel like it's really important to say, because reading Umineko really changed the way that I thought about things and approached things for a long time. Like, When They Cry has been in my life since I was like 13. So like, I've been a fan of this for 15 years. I have a lot of thoughts that I wish to say. So if I go on tangents, that's why. I really love this series. Even though Ryukishi is not the perfect author, like, his work is my favorite. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I need a little break because I didn't expect that I would get so emotional talking about it. If it's not clear, I'm just holding it back so that I can talk. But if you can't tell, it's getting hard for me to speak. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. And sorry if it seems really clunky. That's just... I'll edit it so that when we get to watch it, it won't be like that. It's just that Umineko is definitely a journey in that sense. Alright, let's keep going. How's it going, Angie? Did you get a ton of medals?
I wonder how many it is now.
Me too. Let's count them later, okay? It seems you've been given quite a few puzzles already.
Yeah! Once I get your puzzles, I think only the cousins are left.
Is that so, huh? Alright. Time to take a shot at Mom and Dad's puzzles. I'll warn you, they're gonna be hard. Everyone says the same thing, but we just keep on solving them.
Yeah! We'll get those medals together.
That's the spirit. Okay, I guess I'll go first. I might have some memory issues. There were 3 girls. Miyoko.
I'm the oldest.
Sadako.
Rika isn't the oldest.
Rika.
Miyoko is a liar. Nipa.
Only the oldest of the 3 girls is speaking the truth. So, who is the oldest? I think it was Rika, right? If I remember correctly. Only the oldest of the 3 girls is speaking the truth. Wait, who's the oldest? Oh wait, was it Miyoko? Wait, it was Miyoko. Wait. Yeah. She's the oldest. Rika isn't the oldest if we consider. It was Miyoko, right? I might have mixed up the memory. Because I am like that. And I'm a little emotionally compromised at the bit. So, if, also, I'm having a little bit of a memory issue. So, if anything, yeah. It should be Miyoko, right? No, I was right. It was Rika. I am an idiot. Yeah, it was Rika. Right, I totally forgot. Oh, wait. Yeah, it was Rika. My bad. Okay.
Rika!
That's right. Nice job, Angie. Hard to imagine such a smart girl being related to that dolt of a father. Yeah, sorry for being a dolt. Nice going, Angie. Did you think of all the combinations?
Yeah! If Miyoko is the oldest, then what Sadako says is true. Only the oldest person is supposed to tell the truth, so that doesn't make sense.
That's right. Then what if Sadako is the oldest? Also, if you count lore, Rika is the oldest.
If she is, then Rika would be telling the truth when she says Miyoko is a liar, which doesn't work. So Rika has to be the oldest.
Good job. Here's my medal for you. Congrats.
Thank you, Mom.
You got 1 medal. Rudolph is up next. I wonder what sort of puzzle he has for us. Well, I guess I'll do a liar puzzle too. Let's crank it up a notch this time. Now, this time Miyoko, Sadako, and Rika are all wearing masks. None of them knows who's is who. We'll have them write on paper so no one can recognize the voices of the others. The girl on the right.
The girl in the middle is Miyoko.
Girl in the middle.
The girl on the left is Miyoko.
The girl on the left.
The girl on the right is Sadako.
Of these 3, Miyoko is speaking the truth. However, Sadako and Rika aren't necessarily lying. So who are the 3 girls from right to left? Okay, I think it was E. Right? I hope I don't have any memory issues. Because that was I reasoned it out like that. So sorry. Like I said, I'm not going to work it out for you. Plus, there's too many names for remember, and I can't explain it right now.
I know who Miyoko is. She's the one on the left. After all, the girls in the middle and the right both say that someone else is Miyoko. If they were Miyoko, they couldn't lie and say that someone else was Miyoko.
That's right. Miyoko's supposed to be honest. So once someone says that person else is Miyoko, they can't be her.
So since the middle one and the right one aren't Miyoko, the left one automatically is. And since Miyoko speaks the truth, then it's also true that the kid on the right is Sadako.
Which means that the only kid left, the one in the middle, is Rika. Perfect. You saw that like it was nothing. Angie, you really are smart like your mom.
Dad rubbed my cheeks and hugged me.
You got 1 medal. That's all for our puzzles. Listen up, Angie. Life will lead you through countless puzzles. Aunt Ava's here to help you now, so it's okay to rely on her. However, you'll have to solve most problems in life by yourself. When that happens, you must remember the advice you got from those who helped you in the past.
Okay, I get it.
Ava, take care of Angie. Yes, of course. Even though the cousins were the only ones who hadn't given us puzzles... Mom spoke as though I was leaving on a long, long trip. Weird. Let's go, Angie. The game will be over soon.
I wonder what Grandpa will give us for getting all these medals.
Me too. Still, we have already gotten many things that are far more wonderful than that prize.
What do you mean?
We all had a lot of fun talking to you like this, Angie.
I don't get it. You're weird.
I'm sorry. Let's go then. Now all that's left are the cousins and Beatrice, I guess. What is it? Why did you tell me to come over here? Is it something to do with Angie? No, that's not it. Rudolph put a cigarette in his mouth and toyed with his lighter. Though he should have done this easily, he somehow managed to mess up several times. I wanted to take this to my grave. No, to hide it away in the cat box. I just kept my mouth shut until tomorrow night I'd be able to do that. It'd be easy. I might be killed tonight. That's what I wanted to talk about. I knew it. I knew you were hiding something. Did you? Guess I still need more practice. If it isn't about Angie, then who is it about? You aren't talking about Asumu, right? It's about Battler. It comes to the same thing. I've tried to behave as an adult toward Battler, right? Even though he's Asumu's son, I tried to treat him the same as Angie. I do think of him as a child in our family, so don't worry. He's not just a kid in our family. He's my kid and yours. I'm sorry, but you'll have to let me draw the line there. You don't get it. He's my kid and yours. What? You didn't have a stillbirth. Asumu did. Back then, when I was double timing the two of you, I got myself stuck and couldn't find a way out. You don't mean... Asumu and I were married. You and I were cheating. Then Asumu had a stillbirth and you gave birth. My head was a mess with it all. The sin Rudolph committed when his mind was at its most chaotic was to switch the two babies. I was even better off financially back then. When I was young, I didn't give a damn about what lengths I went to. I threatened the hospital while slapping them with money and switched your kid with Asumu's. If Kiri had a child, Rudolph would have to maintain two households. However, if Kiri had a stillbirth, the child who survived was Asumu's. That would sell everything. The stillbirth might even have given him a chance to break off his relationship with Kyrie. It was grave sin, one that simply couldn't be forgiven as an act of youthful enthusiasm and immaturity. That's why I should be apologizing to all three of you. I forced Asumu to raise that kid that wasn't hers. That woman wasn't nearly as generous and accepting as she looked. There's a chance she figured it out. However, she raised Balor, who loved her as a mother, with all the affection she had. In Kyrie and Balor's cases, he had to atone for an even greater sin. He stole every moment of everyday family life that they should have shared as a mother and son. Until this very day, Kyrie had believed that Balor was Asumu's child, though she had acted kindly toward him on the surface. She always kept a distance in her heart between herself and Asumu's son. Finally, Rudolph's conscience had been unable to bear seeing her like that. But Kyrie sank to the couch, unable to speak. Feel free to curse me. In fact, I couldn't complain if you killed me where I stand. That's how horrible my sin against you is. This is a secret I wanted to confess before the cat box closes over us. Battler. I'm so sorry, Kyrie, and to you, Battler. And that's why he couldn't say... I mean, you should have figured that out, right? I try my best not to, like, spit out everything. As spoilers or whatever. So, yeah. Come to think of it, we've already gone through a ton of puzzles.
Yeah! Now there's only George and Jessica and Balor and Beatrice left.
Oh, they're finally here! We can hardly wait. Thought you might have forgotten about us.
Finally, we challenged George and Jessica.
Sorry to keep you two waiting. So, did you think of something incredibly hard once for us? We decided to give you one puzzle together. My, even one from this pair sounds challenging. It's a special puzzle we made just for Angie, so good luck. This puzzle is also also featured in Higurashi in one of the, I think it was episode 4, I believe. If anyone has if you've seen my Higurashi playthroughs, I don't know, I doubt it, but my Higurashi playthroughs I already finished Higurashi. It's Umineko I still need to work on.
I'll solve it. I'll definitely solve it.
Okay, then let's go. Jessica, let's set them out. There you go. They placed 3 small colorful cubic boxes on the table. 2 of these are traps. The other has a medal inside. Angie, you think you can guess which one has the medal in it?
Not without a hint. That would just be luck.
That's right. So far, this is a test of luck with 3 choices. In other words, your odds of winning are 1 in 3. George, this isn't a quiz. It really is just a test of luck. The puzzle comes later. Let's continue. Okay, Angie. Which one of these has a medal inside, do you think? Just say the first one that pops into your head. A red box, a blue box, and a green box. There's no way to know which one it is, and this really is a test of luck. In a way, this is even worse than a hard puzzle. After all, if you solve a hard puzzle, you'll always be right. But in the very beginning, I picked the almond with 1 in 15 chance. Compared to that, a 1 in 3 chance is 5 times easier to get. There's no point in worrying about it. Might as well test my luck again. Then this one. The red box? Then let's set this box right in front of you. Wouldn't it be great if there was a medal inside? So let's start with a little warm-up. What's the probability of the medal being inside the red box?
1 in 3.
That's right. If this really is a simple test of luck. Are you sure, Angie? Are you absolutely sure you're happy with that red box? After all, we're going to make you open in a second. If it's a trap, it'll be really scary.
Jessica grinned threateningly.
Are you happy with the red box? The metal might be in the blue or the green box. Do you want to change your mind?
It's not fair for them to scare me like that. Not after I've already made my choice. And I know, all the boxes have the same probability of having a metal in them. Whether I try to open the red box or change my mind and try to open the blue or green boxes, the probability will be the same. So stick with your first choice is my motto. I'll stick with the red box. I won't change my mind. I'm happy with the red box. I'll bet on it.
That's the spirit. But seriously, the traps are terrifying. Why don't we show you just how scary they are?
Jessica laughed creepily and opened the green box. And then, pumpkin monsters and ribbons came flying out of the box. It scared me a little. No, that's a lie. It scared me a lot. If that came flying out of the box I opened right at my face, I might fall to my knees and start crying.
Angie, are you sure you want the red box? Something really scary might come flying out, okay? Are you sure you don't want to switch the box?
I'm not scared! I'll stick with the red box!
You're going a bit overboard, Jessica. So one of the boxes is now gone, and now there's only 2 left. This is where the puzzle starts, Angie.
You mean, which box is the metal in?
We have the red box that's in front of you the whole time, and the blue box here in front of me, which has a higher probability of having the metal inside it. That's the puzzle. I'm not gonna tell you anything. So I'm just gonna say... Hold on, I cheated. I remember it was C, but... Yeah, just checking. I'm double checking. Because I'm a cheater.
Oh! The odds are better for the blue box!
And why is that?
Well, I just sorta...
Think back to the 15 slice cake that you found the almond in. If there was only one almond, the chances of winning were 1 in 15, right?
Yeah, 1 in 15. I figured that out when the cake first appeared. I thought that waiting for a lot of people might get wrong ones to make my chances for winning higher. But in the end, no matter when I ate my slice, the odds were still 1 in 15.
Still, Angie, what if the servants were also having cake, and it started with 20 slices?
Huh? What?
This is a party, right? It's not fair that the servants don't get any cake, don't you think? So let's say it was originally a 20-slice cake. The servants took out 5 slices and redecorated it as a 15-slice cake and let you choose a slice. If so, what would your chances of choosing the right slice be?
If there really were 20 slices, the chances would be 1 in 20.
However, the servants know where the almond is, so they chose 5 slices for themselves that had no almonds. In other words, they removed 5 losing slices. That would mean your chances of winning were still 1 in 15, not 1 in 20.
They took out losing slices, so the odds would obviously go up.
Just now, Jessica did the same thing. Jessica removed one of the 2 boxes you didn't choose. In other words, the odds that the remaining box you didn't choose was the winner went up a bit, right? I sort of get it, but not really. If you remove a losing box, it's only natural your chances of getting the right one go up. And just now, Jessica removed a losing box from the pair of boxes I didn't choose. Wait.
If you remove a losing box, it's only natural your chances of getting the right one go up. And just now, Jessica removed a losing box from the pair of boxes I didn't choose. So it doesn't make sense that my odds of winning with those boxes went up. So it does... Now I'm getting confused.
Actually, you really are incredible, Angie. Even though you're only 6, you're trying to understand posterior probability, a concept in probability theory. Probability really is interesting. I'm sure you'll like it when you get into high school and college. Go and enjoy studying it all you can.
My little head was already filled to the brim. Bewildered, I had to beg Aunt Ava for an explanation. Aunt Ava wore a bitter smile too. I bet she doesn't really get it herself. As we felt a sense of connection through this failure, we happily grasped the metals that we wrangled out of them.
You got 2 medals. Angie, could you come over here for a second?
Huh? What is it, George? George and Jessica were calling to me from the window. Aunt Eva was talking with Mom and the others, and since it looked like it'd be a while, I went over to George and Jessica. What?
It looks like the quiz tournament is almost over.
Yeah, there's only Balor and Beatrice left. I'm starting to get sleepy. It's probably because of the adult drink I swiped from Dad. I felt floaty ever since I drank that. That floaty feeling keeps getting stronger, and I've been feeling sleepy for a while now. I gave a huge yawn.
Sleepy?
Yeah, if I had a sofa, I'd probably fall asleep.
I see. And I guess it's almost time for this party to end.
The party will end if I fall asleep, but I just wanted to take a nap while everyone else was having fun.
Was our puzzle just now a hard one?
Yeah, I still don't really get it, and I'm sleepy.
It's called posterior probability. That's what we call it when the probability of something changes because we learn or fail to learn some piece of information.
Did George call me all the way over here to lecture me on math? For some reason, I feel even sleepier now.
So, if we have 1 almond and 10 slices of cake, our chances of getting it are 10%. But what if we learn that those 10 pieces were chosen at random from 100 pieces? You think that the probability went from 1 to 10 to 1 to 100, right? Absolutely nothing has changed about your slice of cake. Depending on whether you know or don't know a certain fact, the probability of your slice being a winner changes. Doesn't that sound strange?
That sounds hard, so I don't want to think about it.
Angie, please just listen till the end. Jessica's voice grew a bit stern.
As young as I was, I couldn't understand what this was all supposed to mean to me.
There's only one thing I want to tell you, so please don't forget this.
What?
In the future, various bits of information will affect the slice of cake in your hands. By learning about those, the insides of your slice might change. Sometimes they'll change to the things you want, but most likely almost all the changes will be bad ones. The truth is always right there in your hands, Angie. Don't you think it's stupid to let it change just because you hear other people talking? Just because they think the truth should be one thing or another? The truth inside of you has been in your hands since the beginning. The nature of that truth is actually something you decide for yourself. You change it yourself depending on what you hear and what you refuse to listen to. You probably don't get what we're saying, but you have to understand. Even if you can't understand when you're 6 years old, I'm sure you will once 12 years have passed.
With a very serious expressions on their faces, they grasped my shoulders as they spoke. I don't know what they're trying to tell me.
The truth that lies in your hands is not unchangeable. You'll be interfered with in many ways that make it change. So the truth in your hands is really important to you. You need to protect it yourself. Don't forget it.
Next is Oni-chan and Beatrice's puzzles, and I'm done.
Ah, really? Even though there were so many of us, it looks like it's finally over. How was it? Did you enjoy tonight's party?
Yeah, it was fun, but I think I'm a bit sleepy.
That's no surprise, considering how much we've been running around.
I rub my eyes. I must have gotten really excited, but whenever I get excited, I'm always tired afterwards. Right now, I'd rather have a sofa to lie than medals.
I've got a special puzzle just for you, but are you sure you want it? If you're sleepy, you can stop now.
No, I've come this far, so I'll keep going. Oni-chan and Beto laughed at my yawn.
Looks like it's time to call it a day. Indeed. Angie, let us leave my puzzle for later. It's too difficult to be solved by one with eyes as sleepy as that.
No way. I've come this far, and I also want Oni-chan's medal. I'm just so sleepy.
Angie drifted over to a chair in the corner of the room and plopped down to it. She closed her eyes and sat there like a doll. It didn't take long before the cute sound of her breathing in her sleep could be heard. When she saw that Angie was finally asleep, Beato spoke softly. Quiet, please, everyone. Angie fell asleep. When she spoke, the peaceful clatter that filled the room fell silent. Everyone looked down into Angie's sleeping face. Each one of them wore an affectionate gaze as they just watched their baby finally drift to sleep. Did Angie have a good time? But of course, the feeling might not be so strong now, but one day she will surely remember tonight's party and understand how fun it was. You're right. It was fun for us too, getting to play with Angie. By this point, everyone was standing in a wide circle around Angie as she slept. And now the guest of honor was asleep, this Halloween party had reached its conclusion.
So long, my granddaughter. I was so pleased to have this chance to play with you after 12 years. It matters not if you forget everything about me. Remember me as an arrogant despot. But every now and then, just try to remember how much I adored you.
She will remember. Angie, you have a long life ahead of you. Even after 12 years, there's still much for you to experience, and I pray that you find this life meaningful and worthwhile. You are the final grandchild and daughter of the Ushiromiya family. All of us pray for your happiness.
Angie, stay well. Happiness isn't something you find, it's something you make. In fact, memories work the same way.
True. There are some things that we only understand when we think back on them years later.
Make sure you remember my pretty face every now and then. Just having you remember us is the greatest memorial service we could ever have. Oh, come on. It's not like we're dying. We're just going to the inside of the cat box. The other side of the curtain.
That's right. It's not even a curtain. Just like how we are now. Angie's there sleeping away. The rest of us are right there by her side watching over her. We'll always be with her. All of them still warm smiles, but the sound of sniffling came from several places throughout the room. This party wasn't only for the girl who wasn't able to be there this day. It was also for all those people who weren't able to meet her here, who never had the chance to say goodbye.
Angie, live life strongly. Our blood flows through your veins. That'll definitely bring you strength.
Ava, take care of our daughter. She's not honest with herself. She'll often be selfish and short-tempered. She might be a pain all the time, but
I'll make sure she finds happiness, as long as she wants it herself.
Angie, it's okay if you forget my face, but please at least remember the taste of my cooking. And I won't ask you to remember old Kumasawa, but please remember the taste of mackerel juice. Someone said, "Why did you feed her that?" And everyone laughed wryly. Her face looks so cute sleeping there like that. She looks just like an angel, just like her name.
She's not an angel, she's a witch. And she's the final witch, Angie Beatrice.
I wonder if that magic will bring her happiness.
Will she become a white witch or a black witch? That's for Angie to choose. I've shown her both sides.
I'm sure a painful life lies ahead for you. You'll probably believe that you're all alone in this world, but we'll always be there right behind you, cheering you on. Don't forget that. Angie, don't forget yourself, your happiness, your fate. These are all things you create for yourself. Only you can choose them. No one else can give you them, and no one else can hide them from you. Don't forget that. I'm sure your message reached her. I hope so. I'm certain the tale of the two of us will help Angie understand. Yeah. Don't you have anything to tell her, George? I've already said all I want with that box puzzle. Will that puzzle teach her something? I don't know, but I do know she's wise. I'm sure she'll learn something from it. Angie, I pray that you're guided along the right path as you move toward the future. One by one they stepped forward and said the words of farewell to Angie. Then finally Battler and Baruto walked forward. Angie, were you able to remember everyone at least a little bit? Of course Angie didn't answer in her sleep, but Battler continued. It's true that the Ushinomiyas are a strange family. We're super rich, and that's given rise to all sorts of rumors and stories. However, that's all speculation made by people outside the island.
No one will blame you for forgetting these kind memories, young as you were. But even so, you must remember. It is not a sin to forget, but to remember again. But not to remember again is a sin.
All of us were really happy to have you at this party. Right, everyone? Everyone nodded at Balor's words. Everyone knew about the merciless and lonely life that awaited her.
It was no longer possible for them to heal those wounds. If there was one thing they could do, it was to make her remember what a kind, fun family she once had, to remind her that both today and to the future they would always care for her and watch over her. It goes without saying that this is an illusion. You cannot come to Rokkenjima on October 4th, 1986. This whole party we shared was all a magical illusion created by the Game Master Battler. But you remembered, right? You remember the truth about how kind everyone was and how much of a blast we all had that family conference, right? Angie breathed softly in her sleep. Who knows if those words truly reached her? On Ava. Take care of her. Do you really think that I deserve to become her mother? I do. Even though your own sadness was so unbearable, you tried so hard to be a mother for Angie. But in the end... It's okay. Angie, listen carefully. Battler grasped Angie's hand and took Ava's hand and joined the two hands together. We know that a tragic fate leads to a future where you two hurt each other. It's a sad thing for Angie, and just as sad for Aunt Ava. It would have been cruel to ask you to open your heart to her. Likewise, it would have been cruel to ask Aunt Ava to keep on overcoming her sadness after being rejected. Neither of you is at fault. Even so, we have no right to tell you to forgive her, so we won't. Just try and understand. It doesn't matter how long it takes, how far into the future it happens. Just try to understand Aunt Ava. And every once in a while, remember us. I concur. And every once in a while, remember this merry, cheerful, attractive paragon of a woman, and chant my name and praise 3 times every day. The relative smiled bitterly, apparently disagreeing with some of the last bit. Ava softly stroked Angie's cheek and spoke one last time. It's okay if you don't forgive your aunt, but it's true that I don't hate you. At least understand that. Ava wiped her eyes and slowly stood up. Hideyoshi held her shoulder. Rudolph and Kirei gathered around her too. Genji, would you mind carrying Angie to somewhere where she can lie down? As you wish. Shall I take her to the guest house? It would be a little too sad to leave her there all alone. You're right. Could you carry her to a sofa in the parlor? That way she'll be able to come back if she wakes up and feels like joining in again. Genji gently lifted Angie up and carried her toward the parlor. Everyone continued to watch over her as she left.
Shadow, Kano. In the end, how many medals did Angie gather?
She got 17 medals.
I see. Then place this by her pillow.
Yes, as you wish. Yay! With the power of cheating, we got the medals! Genji carried Angie to the parlor and set her down on the sofa. Shannon quietly laid a warm blanket on top of her. Kano placed a message card by her pillow along with that thing Kinzo had handed them. The message card read as follows: "We'll all be with you always, from the whole Ushiromiya family." And there, right by her pillow, was the gift from Kinzo. A Beatrice doll. That I helped get cheating. Angie mumbled in her sleep and held it tightly against her cheek. Let us go. You mustn't wake her. Nason.
Yeah.
Shannon thought she saw something glittering silver near Angie's eye. The servants left and closed the parlor door. As Angie slept, she was wrapped in the sound of the rain. Surely she was reliving that fun evening once more in her dreams. Episode 8 is so fun to read. It's all smiles, and definitely that's it.